Alright, another 3questions videos. Yeah, mostly. Mancheeze and Heroin Church. Nice couple. Um, so Heroin Church only did one question actually, but you know, one at a time is okay. Um, so yeah, he's kind of sex obsessed. So it's a point of view that's sort of interesting in the sense that for some of us, um, a good deal of our life has been spent in the pursuit of some sort of actualization of some dreamt of utopian sex paradise, uh, or something like that. Being completed in some way. And yeah, that gets into a lot of emotional crap. It's not necessarily just about sex, but it's mostly, it's sexual, fundamentally, especially in my youth. Um, I mean, it was a cruder obsession. Well, in a sense, no. Because I really did want to fall in love and do all that, you know, stuff. Um, yeah, finding like I said, something that is probably not findable. It's seeking desiring an impractical perfection
Could be a new post.
that can't exist in this
Such.
crappy world. So yeah, so he's of mixed mind in the sense that he can see the practicality of being undistracted. But yes, that leaves you with goals and ambitions that are, for which there is less fuel. The fuel is clunkier. It's not jet fuel. It's something like candle wax. And so, yeah, you can burn it, but there's no sparks and booms, and it's just kind of lame fireworks. And it's hard to justify the brutality of life, the difficult bits. Like this morning, having to go out in the 0 degree Fahrenheit, crap to thaw frozen pipes. Yeah, with dishwater. I didn't have any water. Anyway, irritating. Anyway, so yeah, life is tedious and monotonous. And if you don't have any Disneyland or Disney World kind of ideal to be chasing, yeah, yeah, you need that competitive edge, something that puts the edge on the competitive edge even. Yes, because it's more than just the competition. It's why are we competitive, and that gets this whole mastering, conquering, owning your life. So, it's all psychology, and it's an interesting subject. And I don't know exactly why I brought it up, except to just make this comparison between what does motivate us and how these passions, like passion is part of it. So the most illegitimate, in a sense, of our passions is this natural passion. It's very crude. It's not much better than living to eat. I mean, to live to eat is to be a bug. To live to have sex is to be a bug. And unfortunately, though, you got to have some of that bug gratification for this whole thing to make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. It makes very limited sense with it, and it makes a lesser sense without it, I guess is what I'm arguing. So anyway, so to Mancheeze. So her first answer was, woman's perspective. And I did say, when I asked the question, I said to women, you sort of have to imagine you have this thing, penis, and all that kind of stuff. Because she sort of was arguing, why am I assuming that somebody has this passion in the first place? And I know for some women it's a little hard to generate the mechanism. Just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't occur to them as obviously as being worthy of attention. They are motivated by a different kind of passion, I suppose. I don't know. It's hard, it's hard to but see, that's what I'm trying to say, is this, a lot of this stuff is just chemistry and hormones and, erectile tissue and such, and it doesn't, it's a little complicated for us to be able to convey understanding when we really can't walk in each other's vagina, so to speak. Anyway, so the second question got a little bit interesting, so I'll play this little bit here.
Be a way out for people. There would have to be a system put in place for those who want out to do it painlessly. There would have to be an age limit with some exceptions, like terminal.
Yeah, well, see, this age exceptions, once you start getting into exceptions, in my opinion, it sort of begs the question. Because if you're going to make assumptions about people's mental condition and their capacity to make decisions regarding their own life, then you'd have to wonder why you don't take complete control of their life. I mean, if they don't know whether they want to live or die, they can't do that reliably, then how can they do anything else reliably? How can they be trusted to do anything, in a sense? And the assumption built into this is that somehow there's something they're giving away, or there's something worthwhile to be thrown away in this decision. And I guess I would argue that that's an assumption that even society doesn't have a right to make. Because most people enjoy an activity, it really doesn't mean that that activity is validated. If most people drank alcohol, it wouldn't mean that drinking alcohol is a good thing. That kind of thing. You can't make a defense for the idea that there's a right decision here, or a wrong decision. There's just the fact that either somebody has got a compulsion to live, or they don't have the compulsion to live. And if they don't have it, they don't have an intense need for it, or they have some greater or more intense fear, that has to be respected. I mean, the idea of just wait a while and they'll change their mind. Well, duh. You can do that with almost anything. You can say, I will change their mind, or we will impose some sort of, regiment on them. Certainly that's possible. But to assume that it's something you have any control over in the first place, and that you can somehow predict with any kind of reliability, all you'll end up doing is torturing people who won't be changing their mind. You'll just make them have to endure more pain and suffering because some people can't make rational decisions that are reliable or intelligent decisions. So I guess that's all I would say, is that the only standard has to be is maybe you can ask people 10 questions, and if they can't answer the 10 questions correctly, like what planet do you live on, is the president a reptilian, well, then, yeah, maybe you can disqualify their right to control their own destiny. But otherwise, I don't think you have a right to declare them, in a sense, incompetent to judge whether or not there's something worth investing in being alive. I mean, I understand that I will take whatever I can get. I mean, whatever is practical or pragmatically possible, I will take. But I'm just saying, as an absolute philosophical question, I don't think there's... I'm basically just saying, if somebody can't maintain the minimum of saying, I want to live, then they probably shouldn't be alive. I mean, if they're not convinced that it's a good idea, then if they have, like, doubt, then they probably shouldn't be one. It's almost like being a Christian or something. If you're doubtful, you probably shouldn't be, walking in that parade. If you're not sure killing all the Jews is a great idea, then you probably shouldn't be walking in the Hitler parade. Shouldn't put on the Nazi uniform. And so I'm just saying, if you're not convinced that life's a good idea, and you're not completely, oh yeah, I'm winning, if you're not sure of that, you probably should die.
Illness. There would also be mental health provisions. So in the cases of mental health, there would also be some sort of system, because for
well, I know this, but like I said, this whole mental health thing, it's healthy to brutalize and eat animals. Is that healthy? I don't think it's healthy mentally. I paid somebody to assassinate some animals for me. Beat the shit out of them first and then kill them badly, and so I can eat them. That's not, in my opinion, a mentally healthy thing to be doing. Personally, I don't see any rationality in that kind of judgment or activity. Enslaving Chinese people to our comfort, I don't think that's mentally healthy. I guess everybody's insane. Just saying, these are tricky buttons. I mean, I guess, again, if you want to say that, okay, people who are completely delusional, but then in that case, don't you really have a dilemma? Because here they have some sense of misery, I want out, and yet you're going to give them no right to get out because they're mentally ill. I mean, I think that's being cruel. I really just don't see how you can lose by just having the standard be, hey, if you can't muster enough energy to say, I want to live consistently, then you probably shouldn't be alive. I mean, it's just, what's the big deal? I mean, if you're really not convinced it's worth it, it's probably not.
For example, many depressed people might want out at the time of their crisis, so appropriate checks should be put in place. The same with people who suffer.
Again, you can just do this forever. I mean, you can save. You'll definitely find, if you take 1,000 people who want to die, and you wait long enough, you'll change 2% of them's mind, maybe. And so what, the 98% are fucked. Because this standard is impossible. This, whatever you're calling this, I don't know what your standard is going to be for disqualifying somebody's opinion. Oh, they're depressed. Well, yeah, that's probably the reason why they want to die, is because they're depressed, because they don't like being alive. Unless you have a real psychosis, as soon as you say, well, I had a depressed period, well, what? Were you completely irrational at the time? Did you believe in reptilians? I mean, how would I know that your depression was so bad that you couldn't think straight anymore? I'm just saying, once you open that door, then you can just disqualify anybody who wants to kill themselves and just say they're depressed.
Or from any kind of other mental illness like paranoia or schizophrenia. There has to be some sort of persistent pattern in these people.
Well, again, if you go in with this kind of idea, then you're just going to prolong their torture. And, I'm like I said, if that has to be the way, fine. But I'm just saying, I don't think there's any reason to do that, because what are you going to lose except the average human life, which isn't accomplishing anything anyway but tormenting other living things. The average life is not very accomplished.
For them to be able to exit. Terminally ill adults should have a fast access or a fast track to.
Yes, I know, but that's another subject. I mean, that's obvious that should be true. I'm trying to get more to the philosophical question of why is it okay to assume that living is good for people and dying is bad for people. Because I don't think you have any way to logically defend an argument saying that you're doing somebody a favor by forcing them to live.
Assisted dying. Okay, so those are my 3 questions answered, and here are 3 questions. You are President of the United States. What are the first 3 policies you enact?
Well, I'd have to think about that one for a while, wouldn't I? Damn. The first thing would be to fix the democracy. So the first you can't really enact policies. You can only suggest them aggressively. Just say, I'm going to veto everything until you pass this, something like that. I mean, you can be coercive about it. But yeah, you fix the democracy first. Instant runoff voting to end the spoiler crap in the executive branch elections. And you get rid of this whole geographic bullshit, and you have elections based on ideology, and you have affirmative votes to get into Congress. You can't just steal district votes. You have to get enough affirmative votes actual people have to vote for you. You have to get a number of positive votes. You don't get to steal somebody's right to representation. So everybody gets a congressman, so one way or another. And they don't get forced to have a representative that they hate. So, and that's infinitely doable. So that's number one. Number two, I guess I'd do something about the whole inheritance thing and just say we're just not going to play that anymore. So we're going to have a, progressively more onerous and onerous system. Money's going to be electronic. It's going to be traceable wealth, and in 10 years, you're not going to inherit more than a couple $1,000,000, and that's a big enough head start in life. You don't need any more than that. Nobody needs more than $2 million head start, and that'll be it. No more of this, legacy ownership of the universe. And number three, right to die. There you go.
Number two, if you could wipe out all religions, only if you replace it with one major religion.
Well, what do you mean by major? I mean, can I make up the, like Buddhism or something? Does Buddhism count as a religion? Because that's so ambiguous. Suffering sucks, but let's not do anything about it. Then sure, I'll go for that. But, making everybody a Muslim would be stupid. Making everybody a Christian would be stupid. Making everybody a Jew would be stupid. So I'm not really interested in doing any of the Judeo-Christian-y kind of religions.
Would you do
bear gods or something, maybe? What's the fourth most popular religion? Let's go with that one.
Do it. I should clarify in that question, what it basically means is take all the believers of any religion on the face of the earth now, and
I sort of get where this is going. I mean, one religion means you have less diversity, you have less to kill each other about. But we know that you just secularize. As soon as you do that, as soon as you establish the religion, then people are going to disagree about little details, and you're just going to do this branching off thing again. So I don't know if you're going to beat the, Catholic Protestant problem kind of thing.
You could wipe out their religious belief only if you replaced it with one religion, one major religion. Would you do it?
Well, I mean, yes. Can I just make up the religion and it'll be major because everybody will believe it? Because that makes it a lot easier. Because the religion would be, thou shalt obey the golden rule or something. The end.
Number three, the Earth is going to explode in 20 minutes. What do you do in those 20 minutes?
I guess I'm running naked down the street, just begging, hey, anybody interested? Yeah, I don't know, 20 minutes just ain't enough time to get ready to do anything, right? That's just not enough time. So you just got to go with something random. You only got 20 minutes. So, yeah, I just go with something random, and just hope I can get my penis in a vagina for the end. Climax at just the right moment. just as the fireworks begin, just try to time it just right. But yeah, 20 minutes just ain't enough time it's not enough time to panic or plan.
And those are my questions. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Oakley doke. It's supposed to be 4 questions, but it's okay. And then I pick 3, but I'll always answer 4 because I'm generous. But anyway, so I guess I just make it 3 questions because people. It's just kind of funny. The rules weren't that complicated, but you can't have any kind of you can't have more than. Sentence of the rule has to be this long, and there can't be too many sub-chapters to the rules. So anyway, I appreciate the response. Thank you very much, and we shall continue in the future. And some next couple of days I'll ask 3 more questions, and I do have notes, incomprehensible as they may be. And I should be able to, I have notes somewhere, don't I? I know I have it somewhere. yeah, I have it somewhere. And yeah, I will. Like I said, I will organize this into some sort of web pagey thingy that compiles relevant info and video links and such. But I just haven't done any of that yet. yeah. So yeah, I gotta up my game a little bit, but yeah. So I don't think there's any other interesting jabber, so we'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much. Till next time.